But if you've got repeatable processes, if you've got automated and measurable processes, you can go out and you can find somebody else and you can slide them into the process. And you can create those levels as you grow. So now you've got somebody else to manage those processes. So creating excellence is taking all these things and putting them together. It's using dashboards, business intelligence, and I've got some surprises on that I get to show as well. So it's all that higher level that says, looking at everything else, how do I take all this knowledge that's in my business? And how do I look at it in a different way and put it together and start making intelligent decisions? How do I chart my course as to being blown around and being reactive to what's going on around me? So I love to use this quote. It's a lot of fun, from Abraham Lincoln, staying on the topic of creating excellence. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. My son is 12 years old. Ethan came in to me while I was working on my presentation, and he saw this, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm putting together my presentation." And he said, "Oh, really? That's really cool. Tell me about that." So I told him about this quote. And a few days later, he said, "Hey, Dad, how's that presentation going?" And I said, "I'm not done yet." He says, "You're not?" I said, "No." He said, "But you've done a lot of presentations. Why are you spending so much time?" And I said, "Well, usually I go out, I get 45 minutes to speak at a vendor event, and I do my thing and I'm done. But this is different. I mean, this is family. This is Tigerpaw family here. You know, I want to do a really good job, and so I'm putting the effort in." And he says to me, "Oh, so you're sharpening the axe?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. How come he can get it so easy and it took me so long to figure it out?" But you guys are here today and you're sharpening the axe. You could be back in your business. You could be taking support calls. You could be going out to prospect locations and knocking on their door and saying, "I've got something to sell you." But instead, you are here to figure out ways that you can go back and be more effective. That is sharpening the axe. And it's necessary, and it's got to be done on a regular basis. And I commend you all for doing that. It's hard to do that. It's the whole forest for the trees thing, right? It's hard to, I don't have time to fix this process and make it more efficient. I've got too many people I've got to take care of. And you have to step back and you have to take the extra effort to put something in place so in the future the problem isn't nearly as painful. And I think that's important. Leadership is important. And there's Larry Kesslin is over here, is going to be speaking tomorrow on leadership. Larry's a friend of mine. Larry's touched my life in a lot of very positive ways, personally and professionally, by the words he said and by the people he has introduced me to. And I'm very grateful to Larry for that. And Larry has sparked my interest and renewed faith in the concept of leadership. Whether you own the company or you're a manager or you're a frontline person, leadership is required to be successful and to grow. And I love this image because it's just so representative of what leadership means. The right guy with the right attitude and assembles the right kind of team can take off. I've watched it happen in Tigerpaw. This event is the culmination of that. It's really sharing an enthusiasm. You need to be an evangelist for your own organization, internally as well as externally. You've got to take the things that you learn while you're here, and you're going to have to go back and you're going to have to share them with others. Some are going to be very open. Some are going to be resistant. They're all going to be busy. They're all going to want to know, why do you want to change this? Is this going to make my life harder? You know, when you roll out version 11, it looks and it feels very different. Some of your users are going to say, "Whoa, this is foreign to me. I don't want to do this." Are you going to say, "You're going to do it because I said you should do it"? Or are you going to say, "Yeah, but look at here's what the pain of trying something new gets us. Here's the value we get. Here's the advantages we get." You know, you've got to go back and you've got to take all this stuff you learn and you've got to figure out a way to share it and to be a leader. And Larry's topic in speech tomorrow, as he talks about the breakpoints in an organization that you go through, I think you'll find a lot of value in that. It's an important topic, and it's one that gets overlooked a lot when we're fighting the day-to-day tactical battles. It's just really hard to take a higher look when you're so down in the muck and mire. And a final quote, I like to quote old dead guys. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Every day, do the things that are right. Put the principles into place. You know, it's just like you tell your technician, put in your time, put in your time, put in your time, put in your time. I was busy, I was this, I was that. And you tell them it doesn't matter what you were. You put the time in. We need to track the time, we need to bill for the time. It's that daily doing what you need to do, even if it's inconvenient or it's troublesome, but it's the right thing to do. That's what it takes to be successful. Rolling out a software. If you guys are rolling out a new release or you're trying to implement new pieces, it's those kind of daily habits. It's forcing yourself to learn things. It's forcing yourself to learn keyboard shortcuts. Oh, it takes me longer. I could just click that button. Yeah, but in a couple days, you're going to know that keyboard shortcut, and you're going to be faster for the rest of your life. Watch for those opportunities. They're all throughout everything that you do and throughout your day. It's very exciting. So we got the 4 pillars, right? We've got organizing, optimizing, fueling the beast, and creating excellence. We've tailored our classes around it. We've tailored our software development around it. It's something that we're going to live and breathe. You're going to see webinars, and we're going to try to keep it balanced because we want you to focus on all the areas. Again, you're going to gravitate towards what you're comfortable with, and we'd like to caution you, don't do that. Look for ways to always be making improvements in all of these areas. And we believe that if you do that, you will grow your business. Now, I'm about to talk about version 11. I'm very excited about that. One of the things that we have done that's got to be mentioned, because this is part of our 4 pillars of success. This is part of our optimizing your customer experience. About a year ago, we put together a customer advisory group. Who here is in our customer advisory group? We got a bunch of you here today. Guys, I want to thank you, personally thank you for your involvement. Well, you guys are going to see 11 today, and you got to realize that the guys that just had their hands up, they helped build it. And I don't mean just test it, they helped build it. Because what we've done is we've established this customer advisory group. We have a whole complicated way now of what we kind of decide for priorities, what has to be worked on. But then we go out to the customer advisory group, and we do screen mock-ups, we do consultations before we build the software. What happened, in the old days, we'd go off and we'd build 8 months, 18 months, 24 months, and we'd come back out and say, here's a beta. You got 6 weeks to tell us what bugs you find, and we'll fix them, and then it's getting out the door. But don't tell us about core architecture changes. We don't have the time for it. We just don't have the time for it. And what we found is we'd often come out and show features, and we'd say, hey, look what we built. And you guys would say, that's nice, but I got that word a lot. And what you were telling us is you missed the mark. We appreciate the effort, but you missed the mark. And CAG was our way of saying, we got to solve that. How do we solve that? So we actually do design sessions with the customer advisory group on webinars. Go to meeting, go to webinar. We mock up the screens, we talk about the business challenges, and then we go off and build it. And what you're going to see in version 11 is a direct result of that involvement. I hope as I show you things in version 11, you go, they get it. Well, the reason we get it is because you guys helped us get it. You know your business. We know software solutions. All right? The marriage of the two, we work together. There's nothing we can't accomplish, resources permitting, right? And so CAG was hugely instrumental in putting this together. Something else that's worth showing, and I would keep talking about learn, share, succeed. We believe in the power of community. But until recently, we weren't able to figure out how to tap that. How do we put you guys together? How do we allow a sharing environment? So what we've done is, let me find my screen. We just launched, and this is the home page, and those that have been using the forums may have run into this in the last day or two. We just launched a brand new online Tigerpaw community. We're going to be having a number of industry professionals, partners, posting blog articles, white papers, things of value. You can create your own friends list of Tigerpaw users. We have group support, so people like Randy's Tigers, which is a subset of Robin Robin's Tigerpaw users, can meet in a private forum to have their discussions. And we're going to be working very hard to feed this quality content and encourage customers to share. In fact, you'll see in version 11, that community link is on every main page, right in the product. We want to make this something of value so that the sharing environment you have today doesn't disappear when you go back home. So when you get back, I encourage you to come on. Maybe some of the friendships that you meet while you're here, plan on meeting on the community. Plan on sharing on the community. A lot of great info and a lot of great people.